Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 5 of the RLH Category 1 Championship. Tonight you join us at the Sochi Autodrome in Russia for the race just after the halfway point. We have done half of the races in this season. Of course, it's a short one, only 8 races while we wait for the release of F1 2020. We should be in for a good race tonight. 13 drivers so far. Hopefully Lakitu, who we were waiting on, can join later on in the session. It looks like it's going to be dry to start with, so we're just going to get our telemetry and all of that stuff up on the right hand side. Hold on, let's just have the full track map so we can see what's going on. Now, Sochi Autodrome, not the most popular amongst the drivers, I know that much. It was built around the Olympic Park, or the Winter Olympic Park, during the 2014 Russian Winter Olympics. The track is 5.848 kilometers long with 18 turns and 2 DRS zones. The first one being between turns 1 and 2, and the second one being between turn 10 and turn 13. This track was designed by Herman Tilke and has an average width of about 14 meters, varying from 13 to 15, and an altitude change of just 1.9 meters throughout the course of the lap. The inaugural Grand Prix was held on the 14th of October 2014, making it the first and only ever track in Russia to hold a Grand Prix. Now, it looks like softs are the tyre of choice for now, so let's just get ready to start right away. We're going to ride on board with Simsy Danger. He's currently got 10 points in the championship. Let's see what he can do as he heads through probably the most notorious section of the track. The Williams driver then looking to improve his position in the championship. Let's see what he can do as the Grand Prix goes on. We've of course only in qualifying for now. That will change later on. Nicholas Hobelin, as I probably pronounced that incorrectly, is in great support of Maurice. Hello Prince Killer as well, welcome to the stream. I think we should be in for a good race. That's an invalidated outlap for Spaghetti Chips for now. So Prince Killer predicting that Sem will get a pole, but Dropye will take the lead into turn 1. And it could be very interesting. Now of course, Sem is the championship leader on 71 points. He's at 17 points ahead of Lakitu, who's on 54. Dropye isn't far behind Lakitu on 50 points. So right now, without Lakitu being in the session, that could pose a real problem to his championship. He's trying to fight for first in the championship. He might drop down to third as this Grand Prix wears on, but we're going to ride on board with Simsy Danger as he does his hot lap. Here he comes then through the final turn. You can see him really setting it up. All right then, through turn 18 now towards the line. The line is very early around Sochi. Flat out through turn 1, activating the DRS. All the way down into turn 2, which is heavy braking, 90-degree right-hander. Here he goes then through towards turn 3. This extremely unique turn, a long sweeping left-hander. Trying to keep it to the left as we head into turn 4. Another right-hander, but he has invalidated. So we'll head along to someone else on a hot lap. It looks like we've got Marcus Short here. I don't know. We'll head down to Maurice, actually. He's set the fastest sector 1 so far. Anyway, here he goes through turn 6 towards turn 7. Heavy braking along the straight now up to turns 8 and 9. Look at this. You've got to be careful on the exit. Try not to wheel spin. Then bring it all the way over to the left-hand side for the 90-degree right-hander of turn 10. The DRS detection zone is just as the braking zone begins. Anyway, DRS through turn 11 now towards turn 12. Turning left under this Fly Emirates sign, essentially. Then heavy braking into turn 13, which is under the bridge towards turn 14. Then on the throttle again as we head towards turn 15 and 16. 290-degree right, left and then a right-hander. Before back out on the throttle towards turn 17 now as Campbell does take the fastest lap so far. A 1:31.295. Through the final turn we go and across the line very early. It's going to be pole position for the Mercedes driver with a 1:30.640. There is Simsy Danger. We've got Simply Superman. I think he's on his hot lap, and now as he heads through the final turn, Let's see what lap time the the Racing Point driver can get. It's going to be a 1:31.853. Not too shabby there. So Prince Killer predicting a 30.3 pole time. Change to your normal YouTube account. Toxic Jack, no, I don't know you. Are you? Let me know if you're somewhere else in the league. Take the pole, Morris. Morris is in second. He's only just behind Simsy Danger, though. He hasn't quite got into the 130s, but that could all change. Now you see that the drivers are tending to go onto these soft tyres for now. That's because we're expecting to see a one-stop strategy here. Softs to mediums around lap 10. Because of this track, the surface is so smooth, the tyre wear is almost minimal, and that means that we're going to probably see a pretty much homologous tyre strategy throughout the whole Grand Prix. And INL, you need to eat, have fun, enjoy your meal, and I'll let you know how Morris goes on once you return. But here is Simsy Danger through the last sector now. Towards turn 17 he goes. Let's see what lap time the Williams driver can do. Can he improve on his previous laps? Here we go then. This track, very technical right and left, 90-degree right-handers and left-handers, as he just about beats Morris there with a 1:31.0 as well, giving Williams a provisional 1-2. Let's see whether they can hold on to it though. We've got Spaghetti Chips here. He's heading into sector 2 now. Let's see what lap time the Renault driver can do. Yeah, DRS will come into play a lot here. There's a lot of straights. As you can see, Spaghetti Chips heading through on the DRS zones now. But yeah, DRS is going to be a very, very big factor. Black Mamba there in support of Simsy Danger. He's only on 10 points so far, as we are halfway through the championship. As Spaghetti Chips, that's the fastest second sector of the qualifying session so far. Do I know how fast tier 4 drivers are around Sochi? I'm not sure actually. But yeah, likely high 31s. It should be competitive though. Here comes Spaghetti Chips through the final turn. It's going to be a 1:31.419. So that's going to put him up into 5th position. His teammates still in the pits. He will be looking to go out later on. Now the drivers that haven't set lap times aren't on hot laps quite yet. So we'll wait and see how the Category 4 drivers are going to do. I'm not entirely sure actually, because of course the categories 1 and 3 are held at the same time. Category 2 and 4 they're held on the Wednesday, so I really can't predict, but I would agree with Justin that they'll probably be in the high 31s, maybe 32s as well. But Will G has left the pits. We'll look for the which of the two Toro Rosso drivers is closest to the line. That's Patrick, just heading into sector 2 now. His teammate, however, is about to start his flying lap, so he's just heading towards turn 17 now. 150. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, T4 high mid 32. Oh, we'll just have to wait and see. It should be good races though throughout the league. I mean, yeah, as it was said earlier, DRS is going to be all important around this track. You can just see how long the straight is through turn 1 into turn 2. It's probably one of the longest runs into the first turn from the start finish line of any of the tracks on the F1 calendar. Now, Sochi is located in South Russia, just north of the border with Georgia, actually, on the Black Sea. So it can tend to be very warm here, and I don't think it's going to be likely to rain this evening, although that could change. We'll just keep an eye out on the weather. We're already about halfway through this qualifying session already, but yeah, it will definitely be a good idea to keep an eye on the weather, as we are in maritime conditions. However, I don't think we'll be seeing rain. Should be quite warm. As here is Vikel then, heading through the straight towards turn 13 now. The yellow flags probably just drivers letting each other through, and that's going to be the fastest second sector of the qualifying session so far. Now the compounds available are compound 2 for the hards, compound 3 are the mediums, and compound 4 for the softs. So quite a medium range tyre selection, as the Toro Rosso heads towards the final turn. Now, the fastest qualifying lap is held by Valtteri Bottas, which was in Q3 of 2018, and a 1:31.387. Let's see if any one of the drivers beat that tonight, as the Heinz Vehicle sets a 1:31.8, just ahead of Simply Superman. We'll go up to LR Patrick then, because he'll be next across the line, just heading through turn 11 now. And Valtteri Bottas' average speed on that lap was a 230.369 kilometres. Anyway, yeah, quite a flat track around here. Not too much banking either. Heading towards turns 15 and 16 goes LR Patrick. Let's see how he does in comparison to his teammate. And I noticed that the drivers are quite close. The top 9 all within a second of each other. Are you thinking of joining? I mean, Wesley, you may as well join, see where you go. It's good to get the experience anyway. I'm sure we'll find a space for you, as Will G there in the Renault takes pole position. LR Patrick just ahead of Heinz Vehicle there with a 1:31.7, just beating his teammate. But yeah, that is Will G who sails past turn 2, clearly not taking any account for it, as we do have the rev limiter glitch. Yes, that is true actually. I misread the timings. But yeah, so everyone in this E clearly faster than Valtteri Bottas. So everyone in the top 6 is faster than Valtteri Bottas. Let's see if we'll see any team orders between any of the drivers, such as we saw last season at Belgium, where Simsy Danger moved out of the way on the exit of the final turn at Belgium, which sparked a lot of controversy within the drivers of Category 1. But Wesley, if you're thinking about joining, just go ahead. We'll find a space for you. I mean, if we can't integrate you into this season on F1 2020, we can bring you in. But Sen there with a 1:30.502, taking pole position in his Williams. Can he hold on to it though? We've got Sims in danger. He's invalidated. Let's have a look around. We've got Simply Superman in Sector 1. He's up 0.6 of a second. That could put him all the way up into second place. Let's see where that lap puts him. I think we might have to hop up to him. It just depends where he is. We've got Larkin on an outlap, just heading through the final turn now, and Marcus Short heading towards turn 15 in his Alfa Romeo. Valtteri, it's James. It couldn't be a more appropriate track either. So then we'll do a 30.3. I mean, he's got 6 minutes to go before that checkered flag is waved. As here comes Marcus Short. It's going to be a 1:31.279. Just ahead of QVR Campbell. Let's see if he can stay in 6th position as the qualifying session wears on. We've got Larkin here, his teammate Simply Superman in 5th position. Invalidated laps for a few of the drivers. We've got Simsy Danger here. He's going to be setting a hot lap now as he heads through the long left-hander of turn 3. Let's have a look around the track. Sector 3 for Simply Superman. He's up a lot of time though, so I think he must have made a mistake earlier on in that lap. QVR Campbell just starting his lap there. Spaghetti Chips is up 0.2 of a second on his previous lap. As he crosses the line, he's going to take 5th with a 1:31.1. Not too bad from the Renault driver. He's still behind his teammate. Let's see whether he can push ahead before the end of the qualifying session. Now we've got Simsy Danger in Sector 2. He's up 1/10 of a second. He needs to find a little bit more time. He's only in the 2nd sector though. He is a 30.1 in TT. That is blisteringly fast from Sem. Let's see if he can pull one out of the bag during this qualifying session. Here comes Simsy Danger though. He's invalidated actually, and that's not good news for him, as the other drivers will be beginning to speed up, and the track will be rubbering in as the session wears on as well. It's invalidated there for Campbell. He would be up 0.004 of a second, which could make all the difference. He's really not far behind Marcus Short. But this is Larkin. He's just starting his lap now. We'll go over to Campbell. No, he's invalidated, sorry. Spaghetti Chips is invalidated too. Larkin has not. He's up 0.3 of a second as he heads through turn 3 into turn 4. And Maurice is just behind him, it looks like, on the track. Yes, he is. So we'll stay with Larkin, then we'll hop up to Maurice when necessary. Larkin is 0.6 of a second down on his previous best lap time. Not good news for the Racing Point. Now, I noticed he was slightly on the throttle as he broke into that previous corner. Interesting strategy. Maybe just trying to get some extra rotation, or maybe just a mistake. You can see him working the throttle, just trying to minimise the wheel spin, because a little bit of drift can really compromise your lap time, especially when it goes down to thousandths of a second, which it can often do during these qualifying sessions. Anyway, into turn 13 he goes. Let's see as he heads. He's just headed through the end of sector 2. I wasn't sure how much he is up. We'll see whether he pulls into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Maybe go for a second attempt. I don't think he's going to go for it though. Yellow flags in sector 2. And that's a Mercedes, I think, that's had an issue. We'll go down. That will be Morris, I believe. Yeah, I think he might have had an issue. I'm not entirely sure. He's invalidated, though. Maybe he was just moving out of the way of the other drivers. We've got Maurice here, though. He's invalidated. He would have been up 0.3 of a second, so that could have put him in 3rd place, just ahead of Simsy Danger. But it's not to be. Look at this, just 11 thousandths of a second between Spaghetti Chips and Larkin. Now we've got LR Patrick. He's just starting his lap now. As we enter the final salvo of laps, you can see the drivers will begin to make their way out of their pit boxes. With 2.5 minutes to go, they're going to have to be quite quick. Now the fastest race lap is held by Lewis Hamilton. That's 2019 with a 1:35.7. So we'll see how that goes during the actual race. I think we'll probably see that beaten if qualifying's anything to go by. And LR Patrick has invalidated that lap there, which is unfortunate for him. He'll be having to come back around and go for another lap. Now I think Will G might be leaving the pits there. No, that's QVR that's Maurice, Sparholt, his teammate, won't be racing this evening, having had a wrist injury earlier today, which is a big shame for him. Hopefully he gets better though, and hopefully he can get back to racing as soon as possible. Now you can see these drivers here beginning to make their way out of the pits. I think that's Will G actually just behind. No, yeah, the two Renaults very close as they exit the pits. They're going to be low on time though. They've got to complete a lap at pretty much full pace and then do another one for their qualifying. So we'll go up to Nils Barsa, because I think he's slightly ahead of LR Patrick, who's invalidated. He's just going towards the end of that lap. So we'll save the Red Bull now as he heads through turn 4. He's got a, I think that's a Mercedes, yep, hot on his tail. However, they're not racing quite yet. This is still the qualifying session, of course. Anyway, here he comes through turn 7 now. And into turns 8 and 9. That turn 9, just a slight left-hand kink you see on the inside. Don't even need to touch it. It's not part of the racing line. Heading through turn 10 then. Onto the DRS straight. Yes, as I said earlier, the Sochi Autodrome is the only Russian circuit to operate all year round. There are no other circuits that operate all year round. That's going to be a 2 tenths up on his previous sector there for Nils Barsa. Let's see what he can do as he heads towards the line now. And yes, turn 3, it's a constant 750 meter radius left-hander, and that is just, that does draw your eye when you look at that track map on the bottom right of your screen. Yes, the inaugural Grand Prix was held on the 12th of October 2014, and of course it was delayed in the 2018 season to because it was moved to earlier on in the season, as Nils Barsa does set his lap time there. It was moved to earlier in the season due to later in the season in 2018 due to the 2018 Football World Cup, and there it stayed for 2019. Let's see if it stays there for 2021, which of course we won't be seeing a race there here in 2020. It's unlikely anyway, and that's invalidated on the final turn there for LR Patrick. That is really unfortunate. Heinz Weichel is still on an outlap, so that's going to cost him quite a lot as he heads towards the line. It looks like we've got a Williams just about to finish his lap now. Yes, we do. This is the current pole sitter, 7/12/2004. A 1:30.4. The prediction was a 1:30.3. He's not going to be able to quite get that this evening. Here comes Maurice though. He's up 2,000th of a second. I mean, if he only has to get up slightly to beat Simsy Danger. We've got Larkin here. He's up 6,000th of a second as he heads towards the final turn now. Just call me Brett actually, ahead of him there, who will be crossing the line slightly beforehand. And that's going to be 3rd place for the Ferrari driver, a 1:30.7. Really not too bad. Here comes Larkin, though. He's currently in 7th. Across the line he goes, and he invalidated it, I think, at the very end there. He would have been 2 tenths up, which could have put him up into 5th place, which is really unfortunate for him. Here comes the Renault, then, of Spaghetti Chips. He's going to be trying to beat his teammate. He's not going to quite make it, though. Will G will be our last driver to head across the line. In fact, he's going to pull into the pits, and that brings an end to the qualifying session. Very, very intense there, and we should be in, looks like we're in good stead for a nice old race this evening. Just waiting for the Renault to make his way back to the pit box, and we can get back underway with the Grand Prix as soon as possible. Yeah, 130.40 from the Williams driver here, who is leading the championship. Will it stay that way? We'll have to wait and see. 27 laps is the race distance around this circuit. And that is the end of the qualifying session there. So the qualifying order, it's going to be Sem 12 2004 starting on pole position. Next to him will be Will G. The second row is Just Call Me Bread and BER Maurice. Then the third row will be Marcus Short and Spaghetti Chips. The fourth, Simsy Danger and Larkin. The fifth, Niels Barser and Simply Superman. Sixth, QVR Campbell and Heights of Eichel and LR Patrick will be starting alone on the 7th row of the grid. We will be getting underway in just a moment's time. The top 12 all within a second of each other. So quite a close qualifying session for us as we get hit with the fricative assonance of that sentence. Just loading into the session. Now at the beginning, the drivers will just be making sure that their strategies are ready. And it looks like it's going to be a dry race, so they shouldn't be changing too much. Of course, their qualifying setups are also going to be built around their race setups as well. So we'll see how that all plays out. 30 seconds to go until we start. Dropier will... Yeah, so the race will be dominating victory for Sem if nobody overtakes him into turn 1. I think Will G is actually looking very interesting this evening. He could put up a fight against Sem. Where is Dropier? No, I don't know where Dropier is. He doesn't appear to have turned up, meaning that the lone McLaren of QVR Campbell will be the only orange car on the grid. Here we go, though. We're just going to be starting on our warm-up lap. Let's get all of our stuff ready. We have the full track map. This should be an interesting Grand Prix, so definitely stay tuned. Pole is not the best place to start. Well, yeah, you're on the outside of the track and into turn 1. Because you have to... Yeah, somebody could overtake him into turn 1. It all depends on the start, because you're around the outside into turn 1. Not only that, turn 1 is that long right-hander, and if you're on the outside, you've got to travel further. So, Will G is in an excellent position to try and take the lead as we get started. So the drivers now would just be looking to warm up their tyres and their brakes before we get going this evening. Let's see if the race fastest lap of a 1:35.7 by Lewis Hamilton in 2019 will stay, or will it be beaten by one of the drivers this evening. Of course, we're already halfway through the season. Sem is leading on 71 points. We've got some battles around the grid. Spaghetti Chips and Will G, the two Renault drivers, separated by just 1 point. Spag on 25 and Will G on to 24. 100% incident into turn 1. Well, turn 2 is the proper braking zone. So, yeah, we could see an incident. Hopefully not. We've only got 14 drivers. So, hopefully they can try and stay out of contact for those first few turns. Yes, we are located just on the coast of the Black Sea this evening. And to reduce the logistics, actually, the teams have permanent buildings opposite the garage, meaning there's less of a need for motorhomes, which is something very interesting, as this track was designed by Herman Tilke. Anyway, we have 27 laps to go here, which means a total race distance of 157.896 kilometers. Let's get ready to race. Buckle up, get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a fantastic Grand Prix, heading through the final turn now. And for some reason, Will G has taken the lead during the formation lap. I know what you mean by turn 1. Hopefully we won't see a incident. We'll just get ready to go though as the drivers form up on their respective slots on the grid. The LR Patrick just getting into position now. Here we go, the drivers syncing together. Before we get going, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights are out and away we go. Will G having a slight connection issue off the start. It looks like Niels Barca though. He's having a move on that racing point as it's Sem blocking off the inside line into turn 2. Will G's going to strike back though. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. For the lead of the Grand Prix as there's desync and that's big contact. Will G having spun, he's lost a lot of damage just as Justin predicted. Now Just Call Me Bread, he's up a position, he could try and have a move on Sem as he goes into turn 4, down the inside he goes. Can the Ferrari take the lead? They're still side by side. Heading towards turn 5, can he hold on to it? It looks like we might be nearly 3 wide. Down the inside he goes again, they're still side by side. Heading through towards turn 6 and then turn 7. Under braking, can the Ferrari get the position? He's still battling for it. He just can't quite get his way all the way round as he goes round the outside through turn 7 and 8. Towards turn 8 and 9 even. And into turn 10 then. He's going to be just behind as we head along this straight though. DRS not yet activated. That won't be until lap 3. He could still get that slipstream. He could still try and make a move as Sem is still very defensively towards that left-hand side of the track. Good start though for Just Call Me Bread. Not good for Will G. He received some heavy damage during that opening couple of turns. It'll be interesting to see how the championship pans out. Only 8 races, the championship points worth ever so much more than they would usually be compared to the 21 race season, sorry. In fact, it would have been 22 for 2020, as it's the fastest lap for Sem there with a 1:37.6 on the opening lap. Let's have a look around the order now. Spaghetti Chips, he looks to be quite close behind Marcus Short. A thrilling start for both of them. The Alfa Romeo onto the podium positions, and it looks like he's going to hold on to that now. Turn 3 should be interesting though, because the dirty air will not be helpful. Simsy Danger, getting a 3-second time penalty already. We've only made it 1 lap. Let's see whether that impacts his end result. That will be one to look out for as the checkered flag waves. Yeah, Just Call Me Bread needs to stay within DRS range until the DRS is activated. He was so close, but it's already up to over a second. Zweigel also getting a 3-second time penalty, and you can see some of the drivers running wide. Very easy to extend track limits here because it's not very punishing to run wide. There's almost no grass, and it's pretty much all runoff. Very similar to Paul Ricard in that respect. You can see Spaghetti Chips there having a bit of a slide on as we went through turn 10. Into turn 13 though. Could we see a move here from Larkin? He's having a sniff of the outside line. He's going to make a switch to the inside. Under braking. He's going to have to back off as we head under the bridge. This is a battle unfolding before our eyes, and it should be quite an intense battle right to the end of the Grand Prix potentially. Although it might be a little bit too early to call that now. Spaghetti Chips just behind Marcus Short. He has dropped back a little bit, but you did see he get quite a slide on in that Renault, but his teammate just did not have a great start. I wonder if Will G has replaced his front wing. No, he hasn't. He's still got that front left end plate damage. He doesn't seem to be affected greatly by it, but DRS is now activated. We could see a move here from Larkin as we head towards turn 2. Spaghetti Chips also has the DRS though, and the train has formed, which means that the Renault driver can defend quite well. Simsy Danger though, he's got a lot of pressure behind him. Let's see what this front wing damage does to the Renault. You can see him moving to the outside as we head towards turn 4. Down the inside he goes, there's contact. He gets even more damage to that front left and he runs wide. He's gone slightly too hot into there. He's still side by side with Simsy Danger though as they head through turn 5 now towards turn 6 and 7. Still side by side, they have contact again. And it looks like Will G is having slight connection issues. He's lagging a bit around the track as back down the inside he goes. Simsy Danger with the defensive switchback, still trying to retain that 7th position. And the Red Bull getting an absolute grandstand view of this battle. Simsy Danger running wide. He's already got a 3-second time penalty. He doesn't want to be overly extending track limits. But look at this. Niels Barca could capitalise. He could get both positions as we head into turn 13 now. Down the inside he goes. under the bridge. Can he hold on to it? It's going to be a left-hander next, and that's the inside line for Will G. Can the Red Bull get that position? He's going to have to slot in behind, but look at this, LR Patrick on the sister team car. He's on the medium tyres. He's going to go for the switchback as we head through turn 15 now towards turn 16, and it's into the pits for Will G. That front wing damage clearly unsustainable at this point now. Just holding off on the trigger to go into the pits. You saw him have a bit more contact with Simsy Danger earlier on in that lap, and that might have exacerbated the damage on his front wing, therefore making him pit. Now look at this though, LR Patrick is going to have the DRS, and no DRS for Niels Barser to defend. That is going to be 7th place for the number 15 car. Yeah, Will G does have bad connection. It's really unfortunate. It's quite dangerous for the drivers, but look at this. Simsy Danger right up the gearbox of Niels Barser. Niels Barser just about holding him off. That was very close. There could have been contact. I'm not quite sure. He does have a sniff of the inside line. He's nearly taken Heinz Weichel out. In fact, Heinz Weichel has been hit by Simsy Danger. Front wing damage, and that's yellow flags. But yeah, look at that. There's front wing damage to the front right of that Toro Rosso, and that was when Simsy Danger brought himself back in front, clearly not looking behind him enough, and that nose of the Toro Rosso slightly too far ahead when Simsy was trying to pull back onto the racing line. There just wasn't enough room, and that's going to cost them both dearly, as Niels Barser though past LR Patrick to try and reclaim that position as we head towards turn 13 now. He has got that position. Fantastic move there by the Red Bull, easily DRS assisted. As Will G gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, the race for the Renault driver is going from bad to worse, unfortunately, for Will G. Hopefully it can improve for him as the race goes on. You can see the Toro Rosso of Heinz Weichel. I think he's staying out on track, it looks like it. Anyway, but yeah, Will G down 10 positions since the start of the Grand Prix. That is really not ideal. We have got QVR Campbell though. He's right behind LR Patrick. They both have DRS though. The McLaren moves to the outside as we head through turn 1 towards turn 2. Can he get the position off of the Toro Rosso? They're side by side. He's going to have the inside line on the exit of turn 2, and it looks like he might just hold on to that position. Through turn 3 we go, and the inside line proving superior for QVR Campbell. We'll head up to the top though, because we've got Marcus Short on Just Call Me Bread. This could be a podium for both of the drivers. A safety car would be very interesting. Yeah, look at this. Marcus Short has got Spaghetti Chips just behind him, but he's even closer to Just Call Me Bread. He's had to back off as we've head through turns 8 and 9 towards turn 10 now. The DRS could prove all powerful as we head along this straight. Sem is just running away with the lead for now though. Let's see whether a safety car brings them back together as his teammate Simsy Danger gets a 3-second time penalty. Marcus Short though takes second here at Sochi, and look at this, he's around the outside, which becomes the inside line, and he's managed to hold on to that for now. But look at this battle for second. It's involving 5 different cars. This could really go on for a long time, for a long way into this Grand Prix. Prince on Mamba tomorrow, hopefully. Anyway, we'll see how that all plays out in Category 2. Don't forget to tune in. Just Call Me Bread, though. He has dropped back slightly from Marcus Short. Marcus Short just got a fantastic move. This is playing out into the hands of that Alfa Romeo driver very nicely. The Ferrari did start in 3rd, and he's currently in 3rd. That's where he qualified in. Prince will be on 7th tomorrow. Ooh. We'll have to see about that. But look at this, Spaghetti Chips on Just Call Me Bread, having a look of the inside line. Just not quite close enough to make a move into turn 3 though, but look at this. We have got drivers close to each other as Patrick gets a 3-second time penalty. And I noticed that Weichel doesn't seem to have pitted yet, even with his front wing damage. He might be waiting to pull the trigger until around lap 10. That's when our pit window roughly opens. It should open around lap 8 and close around lap 12 unless the driver decides to do something very radical, although I don't expect we'll see anything of the kind. It only makes sense to go soft to mediums. There's not really any other way about it apart from mediums to softs, and most of the drivers qualified on their soft tyres. But Spaghetti Chips on Just Call Me Bread. The Ferrari does have the defensive DRS, but it's not going to be enough as around the outside goes the McLaren, which will become the inside line for turn 14. Can he get that position? Just Call Me Bread might try and bring it back. Yes, he does. Fantastic switchback defence as we head into turns 14 And 15 towards turn 16. Spaghetti Chips back down the inside. They are still side by side as we head into the closing corners here at Sochi on lap 6 for these guys. Round the outside still, Just Call Me Bread's now got Larkin on the inside. Larkin takes 4th place. Can Just Call Me Bread drop all the way down to 5th? Yes, he does. He's not had a good time of that, has he? He's dropped down 2 positions, or no, 3 positions in the course of about 3 turns. That is very unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. That did not go well for him. Let's see whether he can try and make up that time. Yeah, I know Sem is absolutely blasting away with this lead. He's already nearly 5 seconds ahead. He looks unbeatable around this track with no drop A to challenge him, or Lakitu. Already 7 laps in them. We're about 28 kilometers of the way through, about 156 overall. And I think Sims in Danger just got another time penalty. It is not going well for the Williams team. Well, it's going well for half of the garage anyway. The other half not so well. Yeah, Sam probably is cruising. There's no point pushing. He doesn't want to crash, and he doesn't. Although it is a lot harder to crash with the barriers around this track than some other tracks, he is probably cruising. There's no point pushing. Doesn't want to get a time penalty, and he doesn't want to crash. There's no point. He may as well just keep that gap around 5 seconds, because that is quite a considerable gap as it is. So he's probably sitting quite pretty in his car. And I noticed Marcus Short is beginning to extend that gap to the battle behind him. So he's really having a good time of it with those cars behind him battling away. Larkin on Spaghetti Chips and Just Call Me Bread on Maurice. I know that Ferrari driver is going to be trying to reclaim that 2nd position at a push. 3rd position definitely, though. He is within range of it for now. You can see just how close Larkin is to the back of Spaghetti Chips, though. That DRS really powerful along the main straight. 5 seconds is absolutely insane by Sam, what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't want to relent. Maybe he wants to keep pushing, try and make the gap as big as possible. I mean, who can blame him? But yes, this is proving to be a rather interesting Grand Prix. We're almost a third of the way through. Yeah, we need to have a category 7 to try and sort him out. Maybe get some, I don't know, maybe make him race against 120% AI. Well, could be quite interesting. Maybe he'll beat them as well. Then we'll have to think of something completely radical, or just kick him from the league for dominance. That wouldn't be too fair. But he is absolutely blistering around Sochi. Much like the temperatures, I reckon the track temperature is probably around 35-40 degrees Celsius. Because although this is Russia, and it's where they have the Winter Olympics, it's actually quite southern, and it's very warm in this region of Russia. Although I've never been there yet. Hopefully I can go there, because it looks rather nice. And you can see there, lap 8, the opening of the pit window. And the drivers are beginning to make their first pit stops. It looks like Spaghetti Chips, Larkin and Sam all deciding to pull the trigger at around the same time. Very interesting. We are a third of the way through the Grand Prix though. Still got a fair way to go. As look at this. Just Call Me Bread. He's going to have a look round the outside of Maurice. Can he get that position? He might go for the switchback on the exit of turn 2. No, he's not. Towards turn 3 though. He might try and close up for that turn 4 braking zone, although it's very hard to follow through this 750 meter radius left-hander, which pretty much heads 180 degrees. In fact, it goes over that, but he's not quite been successful in doing that turn. Or rather, trying to take that position. He did come close though with that DRS assistance, so you can see just how powerful the opening of the rear wing can be around this track, just because this track is quite wide and the straights can be quite long. It's quite a technical circuit. And the drivers do have to watch out for that. As we head along the straight though, you can see it can be quite enclosed at times as well along the straights. Heading towards turn 13 though, this Ferrari doesn't look like he's going to make it. As Sen gets a 3-second time penalty. So even the fastest driver isn't the cleanest. Maybe that will make a difference at the end of the race. I don't know. Maybe Marcus Short just needs to keep it clean and keep it going. And if Sem makes any more of those, gets any more of those penalties, he could be in a bit of a pickle as he heads into the pits now. QVR Campbell is not going to follow. He started on the mediums though. LR Patrick also on the mediums. So everyone else, I think, all of these soft starters decided to start staying on the mediums. Yeah, they're the only two guys that started on the mediums, it looks like. Other drivers have already made it onto those medium tyres at this point anyway. And I think those medium tyres must probably make it to the end of the race due to the fact that there isn't too much tyre wear around this this track. But look at this, Spaghetti Chips coming out. Well, Marcus Short just coming out ahead of Spaghetti Chips, still defending that net second position. Spaghetti Chips, though, he has the exit on turn 2. Can he make it through turn 3? He has got the inside line, and that's going to shorten the distance for him. Into turn 4, though, back down the inside goes Marcus Short. Can he keep that position? I'm not quite sure. Let's see what he can do. But that is fantastic there from Spag. Up into net second, and now look at this. Larkin is right behind Marcus Short. So Short's, it's not gone too well for him there. He's just not been fast enough on the in lap to hold on to that position. Maybe the undercut works out for the Renault driver. And it looks like he's been quite successful with it, to be honest. Now then, yeah, look how close Marcus Short is though. Through turn 13, you can see even the DRS wasn't quite enough to get that position. You still got to battle for it, and I think that's quite a well-placed DRS zone in my opinion. Because sometimes, like in China along the back straight, the DRS is just so powerful you end up rocketing straight past them. However, around this track, you've still got to try and make the move. The DRS only gets you so far. You've got to do the rest yourself. Now, Sem should end up taking the lead, and look at that, he's already 9 seconds clear of Spaghetti Chips, although that could be 9 seconds to clear to Marcus Short. The DRS absolutely making him fly past the Renault, and I don't think Spag's going to be able to defend. Oh, look at that, very clever from Marcus Short, just squeezing him away from the inside line and making Spag back out of that move. Nice defensive driving, just passing himself in the middle of the track. And yeah, just making Spag back off for risk of damage. And I know that Marcus Short is going to be really fighting for that second place. And right now, he looks like he could be in a good position to get it. Although we still do have 17 odd laps to go. So anyone could take that second. I mean, you look at this, you've got 5 drivers all within about 2.5 seconds of each other. So he's definitely not secure in that place anyway. But yeah, this train rather, it looks to be going all the way from 4th to about 8th or 9th, and maybe all the way down to 10th. So quite a close-knit group of cars on the track for now. Will it get more? Will it get less? Will those gaps close? Will we see moves? I don't know. It looks like Larkin's posing quite the danger to Spaghetti Chips. He could try and make a move into turn 1. We'll ride on board with him now. You can see on that wheel he's shifting quite late, just maximising those revs. Also got to be wary about fuel management though. The only thing for Larkin is that Spaghetti Chips also has the DRS to defend from him. So we'll go up to Spag. He's not close enough to make a move on Short, and you can see these drivers just not quite close enough to each other to really be making moves. But look at that, Will G on Simsy Danger. Bit of a moment there as he ran across, I think it was the grass, slightly upsetting the rear end of his car. However, he's not lost it there, but he was very, very close behind this Williams as they went into turn 2. Those brakes are making all of the difference as we head through towards the next sector. Already quite a dramatic Grand Prix, and it doesn't seem to be showing any sign of stopping. Even with only 13 drivers, Akito unfortunately hasn't made it so far. Maybe he'll be able to join later on in the session. I'm not quite sure. Remember to let me know your predictions for the top 3 drivers down below, because looking at it now, it could be, well, P1 looks pretty secure for Marcus Short. For Sem even. But P2 and 3 could be anyone's position. It's like the Grand National. Anyone's race. Anyone can win it, no matter the odds. Simsy Danger, though, with a 3-second time penalty, definitely reducing the odds of his horse winning this evening. But look how close Just Call Me Bread is on the back of Maurice, as Patrick takes the lead of the race. However, those top two have yet to pit. Let's see what the DRS can do to benefit this Ferrari driver. Is it going to be enough? And look at that. Maurice actually having a look of the inside line of Larkin. We'll head up to Campbell and Maurice, who are still very, very close on track. And look at that. Campbell darting to the inside. He's had to back off, though, just trying to avoid a collision with the race leader. Probably a wise move from him, luckily. Averting the chance that we'll have an incident on this track. Now, for some reason, my internet doesn't want to work, so I can't have a look to see if there are any comments. It doesn't look like anyone's been commenting, though, unless, of course, the streaming system on PlayStation has glitched, which it can often do. But we'll have a quick look at the championship standings right now, because they are definitely in heavy contention. Spaghetti Chips looks like he's going to be increasing the gap to his teammate. That gap is 1 point currently. However, at the end of this race, that could increase quite dramatically. Sem looking to increase his lead in the championship of 71 points. Definitely possible. Could probably hit 100 by round 7, actually. If he does well next weekend. I can't remember what track we're heading to, actually. No, it's Abu Dhabi next week. Abu Dhabi is going to be what the drivers are going to be racing around, as we are now halfway through the Grand Prix. We have already completed about 78 kilometres so far. Still got another 78 to go. And yes, Lakitu not racing. Neither is Dropye. Campbell, however, is only 3 points behind Dropye in the championship. Right now, he will definitely supersede him and potentially Lakitu. However, once he makes his pit stop, his position will, of course, change as the order gets balanced out. So we'll watch out for that at the end of the race. And, of course, there will be incident reports and all that to deal with. Marcus Short, though, he's only 2 points behind Justices. In his current position, he could definitely increase that. And, in fact, he's on 21 points. He could overtake Spaghetti Chips in the championship. There's 4 points between them. Although he will only gain a 3-point net gain on Spaghetti Chips if he finishes second and Spag finishes third. So he will still be 1 point behind that Renault driver if things finish the way they're looking to finish, which they are likely to do, because you can see Spag is still piling on the pressure to that Alfa Romeo driver. Just having a look, Nils Varsa is on 1 point. He's only 2 points behind Just Call Me Bread. Just Call Me Bread did have a good start, although he dropped back significantly around the pit stop phase, or slightly before, around lap 6 I think it was, where he just didn't have a good time of it. Kvyat Campbell going into the pits. He's going to be looking to go 12 laps on those soft tyres as Simsy Danger gets another time penalty. But yeah, 12 laps on the soft tyres. Quite a risky move, and look how close Spaghetti Chips is on Marcus Short. That DRS, maybe he's running slightly higher wings, because that DRS doesn't look to be too beneficial for the Renault driver. But yeah, as I was saying, those softs, 12 laps, you'd think it's a big risk, but actually, it's not the biggest the drivers can take. Remember, this is a really smooth track surface. It's not abrasive at all, and that means that these tyres don't get worn when? They don't get worn as much as they would typically during a Grand Prix session. As Will G gets a 3-second time penalty. That is not good. It's just not been his race this evening. However, his teammate, on the other hand, is in a good position to get a podium, with Sem just 10 seconds in the lead. Fantastic driving from the Williams driver. His teammate not in the greatest position. Looking to improve, though. He has got a few time penalties, and that will definitely add up at the end of the race. the outcome of this train as well will be really interesting to see when the drivers decide to make their moves, when they think it is most tactical, I suppose, to have that attempt, as Ella Patrick goes into the pits now. So that means we are back. Everyone has pitted, and everyone has done their one mandatory pit stop, meaning that it is all even, and it is all to play for at this point in time. And unfortunately, I can't have a look at the comments, so I do apologise for that. At least you can still watch the stream. That's a 5-second penalty there for Heitz-Weichel. That is not good news for him. It's not been going too well for that Toro Rosso driver, though. But yeah, you can see Sem just running away with this lead, laughing all the way to the podium, to the top step of the podium. And it doesn't look like anyone this evening is able to challenge him. He is just magnificently fast around here. And he's just going to be running away with this championship at this rate. He won the last round. Safety car, please. Well, we'll see. I noticed while you joined us, hopefully your wrist gets better and you can get back to racing as soon as possible. Of course, don't want to rush you, don't want to exacerbate your injury. But Spaghetti Chips had a look down the inside of Marcus Short there. Let's ride on board with the Renault driver. He could try and make a move into turn 2 on this next lap. You could see through that last sector there, he was getting rather close to that Alfa Romeo. There we go. And look at that, the DRS, superbly powerful there. And that is going to be second place for the Renault driver. Let's see if Marcus Short decides to strike back, which he's very capable of doing as they head through turn 3. Let's ride on board. He might have a look down the inside for turn 4. He does, but it's just not enough speed for him. Pulling out of the slipstream is like hitting a brick wall in these cars. But yeah, you saw just how powerful the DRS was for Spaghetti Chips as they exited that final turn. Last lap, lap 17 of 27. Almost 10 laps to go. But many positions are yet to be decided. Now, I have just remembered that time penalties could play a serious role here. And now Marcus Short, having lost one position already this lap, is going to be looking in his mirrors because Larkin is posing a serious threat. Let's ride on board with the Racing Point as they head towards turn 13 now. Can he get that position? I don't think so. Marcus Short safe from Larkin for now. That could all change though. He's going to have to try and stay as defensive as possible for the following few laps, and of course until the end of the race. He's going to be wanting to attack Spaghetti Chips as well though, which is going to be quite difficult. And all of this means that Sem can just increase that gap. I mean, he could probably spin and still be alright at this point. You can see he's backed off a bit on that speed. He's staying consistent times. He's about 10 seconds ahead of Spaghetti Chips, staying roughly around that distance. There's no need to push it any further. He's pretty safe where he is. But Kvyat Campbell actually has the fastest lap of the race so far. And he's in the top 10. That'll be a beneficial point for him as he overtakes Will G. You can hear the crowd clapping as these drivers drive through. And that's Heitz-Weichel out of the session in Sector 2. And that's a safety car, just as the commenters predicted. That is going to be very interesting. I was saying how Sem was safe. He's going to be thinking twice about that now. He's going to have everyone closing up behind him. That couldn't have been better timed. I mean, how long ago was that? That was just 7 minutes ago, or around 10 minutes ago, which means we're essentially going to be starting the race again. Now, one thing to watch out for is whether the drivers are going to stay on the mediums they're on currently or head onto a pair of softs. We know those softs will make it to the end, but will it be worth the pit stop, potentially losing the on-track position? Let's go up to Sem, see whether he decides to pit and whether the drivers behind him decide to follow suit. But yeah, this is not good news for the Williams driver. If he can keep the pace he had earlier though, he's still in a good position to win the race. And there he goes into the pit lane. Let's have a look then. Well, he's going to be going on to the softs. We know that much. Let's see whether Simsy Danger, Spaghetti Chips, decides to follow him into the garage. Let's have a look then. Yes, he does. Do all of the drivers follow him in? Yes, they do. That's Just Call Me Bread as well. Simsy Danger. He'll probably be following into the pit stop. That is not good. No, he's not. Simsy Danger's going to stay out and try and get that track position. Not good news for Campbell. He pitted not too long ago to softs, and he's going to be kicking himself now. Let's have a look. LR Patrick staying out on track. And I think Simply Superman might follow in. Yes, he does. You can see that slight twitch to the right. And that means that Simsy Danger is going to be leading our race now. So he's been promoted quite well, deciding not to pit. And instead, yeah, taking that on-track position. I mean, the drivers pit assuming that everyone else is going to pit. And it's unlikely that they're going to lose track position. Now, I say the safety car will probably come in at the end of lap 20 once the whole order has bunched up a bit. But yeah, definitely. Kvyat Campbell then up into second now, staying out. Of course, those softs are really not that old. Yeah, I know. Lots of penalties there for Simsy, but the restart is definitely going to be very, very interesting. It's going to mean we've got an absolute sprint race to the end, just like in Formula 3 or other racing series of the like, such as Ginetta Junior. I'm just thinking of ones that I've seen in real life, where you only have about 15, maybe 20-minute races, and it's a real push to the end. Let's see what these drivers can do. Of course, different championships define a sprint race is a different thing. Like some championships would decide like things like the World Endurance Championship would designate 2 hours as a sprint race, whereas other championships, it's an endurance race. It's quite interesting the way that works. But we have got the Mercedes SLS AMG safety car leading the drivers around the track. Quite a nice looking facility though, you have to admit. Even if you don't like the track, the surroundings are very, very nice. Of course, it was built to integrate the Olympic Park around here, or the Winter Olympic Park. And you can see they've done quite a good job. You can see the mountains in the background where people often go skiing, as well as the grandstands where people can see the skiers from. Now, we were joking earlier about a Valtteri It's James situation. That might not be so much of a joke anymore. If Simsy Danger can try and hold up Kvyat Campbell and let Sem go past, they could try and work together to get Sem the lead of the championship. They've done it before and they might do it again. Prediction is Sem 1, Spag 2, Campbell 3. Yeah, it's bad news for Marcus Short. He's all the way down to 6th. It has not played into his hands at all, this safety car. And I reckon we'll be seeing the safety car return this lap, giving us 7 adrenaline-filled laps to the end of the Grand Prix. Just over 10-minute race. Essentially, we've pretty much restarted the Grand Prix with a shuffled order. And that some drivers are more tyres, the others are not. So let's see how this all pans out. Black Mamba agreeing with that prediction. Kvyat Campbell, yeah, he's been very lucky with this safety car, you have to admit. It has definitely worked in his favour. That McLaren driver, his teammate not here tonight. Kvyat Campbell still making a good presence for the McLaren team though. And you can see the safety car still out for now. Although that's likely about to head into its pit box. Right at the end of the pit lane. So it's ready to be called out in the event of another incident. Hopefully not though, touching wood. Because I think one safety car tends to be enough. There we go. Race control has announced safety car in this lap. So let's get ready to rumble. The safety car will be heading in. You can see Sem really backing up the pack now. He's going to be trying to get a really, really good launch out of that final turn, out of turn 16 onto the straight. Here they go then. Of course, the start-finish line very early. Overtakes pretty much allowed immediately. And you can see he's really, really backing up the pack now. Wiggling those tyres, trying to get as much heat in as possible. Also trying to heat up the brakes. It's a long run into turn 2. Those brakes will hold that. Those brakes will cool down very quickly and increase the braking distance. So you want to have warm brakes so you can try and outbrake the other drivers. So you see how that works out. You can see the pack being backed up now as they get ready for the rolling start on lap 20. Onto lap 21 of 27. Sem has led us out, and Simsy Danger, he might be trying to make a move here on the McLaren of QVR Campbell. No DRS to help him, but DRS and slipstream is going to be in his favour. Down the inside he goes into turn 2. Can he get the position? Can it be a Williams 1-2 for now? Yes, it looks like it's going to be that way. How will it stay that way though? Of course, Simsy Danger with a lot of time penalties. Not going to be beneficial as LR Patrick overtaken by Spaghetti Chips. Spaghetti Chips now lining up himself for that podium position. Can he get that podium position though is the real question. Lots of changings of the order. Just Call Me Bread. He's dropped all the way down to 10th. It has not been a good evening for that Ferrari, I can tell you that much. Larkin though, he's quite close behind Marcus Short. Marcus Short will be looking to try and get back into his previous position of 2nd. He's going to have to push a long way. And I've just noticed Simsy Danger has taken the lead of the Grand Prix. He is ahead of his teammate. Maybe this is the other type of team orders. Maybe Sem is going to try and back up the pack and minimise the impact of those time penalties, which will now be exacerbated when we cross the line because the whole pack has been closed up, meaning that he's likely to lose more positions as a result of his penalties. Maybe we're going to be seeing some teamwork in the Williams, between the Williams drivers. Look at this! Niels Barser just getting ahead of Simply Superman and having a look down the inside of Just Call Me Bread. Now Sem on the exit of turn 16 might be trying to make a move on his teammate. Let's see how that plays out. Prince Killer Noob says someone. Niels Barser with a 3-second time penalty. That's Ipper. Yeah, well, I won't be the judge of that as Sem takes back the lead of the Grand Prix this evening. And this has given Spaghetti Chips and QVR Campbell the chance to catch up. Campbell has a 3-second time penalty. Simsy also got a 3-second time penalty. Those penalties are going to have a serious impact on that finishing order as Spaghetti Chips also gets a 3-second time penalty. The driver's really struggling to keep on the black stuff this evening. Let's see how well those play out. That's your biggest fan. It doesn't sound like it from his comment, but Simply Superman there also with a time penalty. Though this is really extra seconds galore around this track. And look at that, Spaghetti Chips. He is so close behind this McLaren. No DRS quite yet. That won't be available until the end of this lap, I do believe. So let's see how that pans out. Spaghetti Chips having a look round the outside into turn 13. Fantastic move there. Can he hold it off of the McLaren? Yes, he does. What a move. Without the DRS even having to assist him. Marcus Short, though, has made an absolute killing. He's all the way up into 5th place now. Larkin ahead of LR Patrick. Can Marcus Short make it past QVR Campbell and Spaghetti Chips? We'll have to wait and see. A 3-second time penalty for Morris. But look at this. Sem is already running away with the lead once again. DRS now enabled. But yeah, that gap already up to 2.3 seconds. Spaghetti Chips though on Simsy Danger. Simsy moves very aggressively to the inside as Spag goes round the outside into turn 2. Spag runs wide though. He goes across the sausage curves. That'll definitely be a warning from the race director. As look at this, QVR Campbell might try and make the position. I don't know. Simsy Danger's going to have a look back down the inside as we head into turn 2. He's had to back off, turn 4 there even. As QVR Campbell has contact there. You can see the hand of anger going up in the pit, in the virtual cockpit. I reckon in the real world one as well behind his TV screen. Now it looks like someone ran really wide. I think that's Simsy Danger. He might have damage. I think he does. Yes, he does. We saw him run into the barrier on the exit of turn 7, I think. That is heavy front left wing damage, and that's going to cost him a lot of downforce. And he's dropped all the way from 1st to 12th in a matter of laps. That is really unfortunate for the driver, but look at this. Marcus Short on QVR Campbell. Can he do what Spaghetti Chips did on lap 22? It looks like he's going to have the go on the other side as they make contact. QVR Campbell has slight oversteer. Just Call Me Bread has got a time penalty, but look at that. Larkin had contact as well with QVR Campbell. Campbell sends it back down the inside, though. He's got damage, I think. No, he doesn't. He just about avoided damage, but he had even more contact. This is really bad news for the McLaren driver. His presence being felt a little bit too much by the other drivers. Lots and lots of action going out on this track. And look at the train as they all snake their way through the final sector. Look at this. Maurice is very close behind Patrick. Patrick also has the arrest. Larkin on Kvyat Campbell. This is not going well for the McLaren. Could he lose another position? Down the inside goes Larkin on the McLaren. It looks like he might have that position. He cuts the corner on the exit. And look at this. We've got a Toro Rosso having a look down the inside as well, but around the outside goes Larkin through turn 3 into turn 4. Can he get that position? It's 2 wide, nearly 3 wide through turn 4 as LR Patrick tries to get the move done on Kvyat Campbell. He's not going to stop there though. He's really trying to get that position off the McLaren as he has another attempt. That's where Simsy Danger had his contact with the barrier earlier. As down the inside he goes, there's contact, and he nearly spins. Fantastic save there from the Toro Rosso driver, but he's going to cost a position, and that's Will G just behind these two drivers. Look at that. The Toro Rosso having an absolutely pulling excess. It's 3 wide, and there's contact, and they all run wide, and there's even more contact behind as Niels Barser hits his front wing on the back of Will G. Just Call Me Red up into 9th place following that. Absolute carnage on the track as round the outside goes Will G, which is going to become the inside. It's absolute traffic jam through turn 13. This is absolute scenes here at Sochi as they're going to go 3 wide into the final sector. There's contact between Just Call Me Red and Will G. Look at that. Just Call Me Red with a 3-second time penalty, and he's run wide, and this could give LR Patrick the move he needs. Yes, he does. He's going to go around the inside, and there's really big contact. That's Will G and Just Call Me Red off the track through the final couple of turns. How unfortunate for the drivers. But what a lot of action we've been treated to there. Just Call Me Bread unfortunately out of the race. Will G retiring as well. But look at this, Niels Barser. I think he might have front wing damage, but it's not going to stop him having a move. Yes, he does. He goes down round the outside actually. Fantastic move there on the sister team driver. What on earth just happened on track? We're left with only 10 drivers now following all of that. Wow, look at this. Simply Superman though. He's close behind Morris. There's the yellow flags in sector 1. I think that might be Simsy Danger. I don't really know. It looks like the green flag's being waved again, so it can't have been too wide. But look at this. These drivers still very, very close. We're already on lap 25. But look at that. I think Campbell's run wide, and he's going to just about hold that position off Morris for now. But look at that. Simply Superman capitalising on that. He goes side by side with Maurice as we head towards turn 13 now. Kvyat Campbell, a bit of a roadblock between this battle. The DRS really helping the Racing Point as he goes down the inside. But look at that. Campbell running wide as they're nearly 3 wide on the exit of turn 13. They touch again, and Campbell still holding on to that position. As down the inside goes Morris. Has he got damage from that? That looked like a very aggressive move there through turn 14. You very well might have to call 911 because this is insane. Oh, and there's a spin, and Morris is in the barrier. That is such bad news for him. Look at the damage on that car. We're on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. There's time penalties being flung left, right and centre as our cars. But look at this. Simply Superman trying to get past Kvyat Campbell into turn 2. Down the inside, there's contact. But he's just about avoided any major damage there. Unfortunately, both of the cars are still on the track itself. But look how close they still are on the timing boards. We're going to go up to Marcus Short and Spaghetti Chips. This is the battle for seconds, sorry. So 13 drivers is unlucky. I mean, 13's meant to be my lucky number. Doesn't look like it's been lucky for some drivers this evening. Lucky for others, though. I mean, Sem's been fantastic this evening, as we are already nearly the final lap of the race. We're about 1.5 laps to go. Marcus Short is going to be trying to get that second place off Spaghetti Chips before the end of the race. Let's see what these drivers can do as they head towards turn 13 now. Could we see a move here from the Alfa Romeo? He's not quite close enough to make that move. He's had to back off. Niels Barser is also close behind Simply Superman, but I think we've got to stay with this battle just because of how important it is. You've got to feel bad for Morris, though. That was just really, really unfortunate. But yes, it's a big shame for Maurice. He's still driving, but also messaging in the Discord. So I'm not quite sure how he's managed that. There's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. I don't know what the cause of that is though. So we'll stay with Marcus Short because this could be for second place as they head towards turn 2. Look at the DRS assistance. It's not going to be enough. We're on the final lap of the race though. Sem looks like he's in position to win. Can Marcus Short get that second place? Will the time penalties have any say on the outcome of this race? Will they have a major say? We're about to find out because there's about 2 kilometres till the checkered flag. Marcus Short still really putting the pressure on this McLaren. This is going to be a last-ditch attempt perhaps through the straight which is about to follow turn 10. Now the DRS is going to be extremely powerful here. Look how close Marcus Short is. He's going to have to back off though so as to avoid contact, and that's going to cost him a fair amount of time as we head towards the next couple of turns. Can that Alfa Romeo get the position? We're on the deck, the only other DRS straight on the track. Will it be enough though for the second place of Marcus Short, or is Spag going to defend? There's a bit of lag. Marcus moves to the outside of turn 13. He could try and go for a switchback here. There's contact. Spaghetti Chips goes around, and that is not good news. He's just about caught it, but under brakes there. Big lock up for the Alfa Romeo, but it's going to be second place for Marcus Short. I think the stewards are going to be called in on that one. Now, people say Russia is boring, but it's really not because Sem has proved he can dominate here. But Marcus Short has battled profusely till the end of the race. Spaghetti Chips, though, getting that second position. Marcus Short dropping off the podium, in fact, due to penalties. QVR Campbell in 5th. Larkin just about getting on to 3rd. Simply Superman, the teammate of Larkin, in 6th. Niels Barser 7th. LR Patrick 8th. That's not gone well. Simsy Danger is going to come home 9th. There's yellow flags in sectors 2 and 3. The Williams driver, it's not been his evening, but he's going to come home with some points anyway. What a dramatic end to a Grand Prix. I don't think anyone foresaw that coming before the end, before this race started earlier this evening. But what a treat we have just been subjected to. The safety car could not have been timed better by the race director, as through the final turn goes Morris. But this is your race winner, Sem 12 2004, who had orange wing damage apparently. Thank you Justin. I'm going to have to take a breather and probably a sit down after that. But these are your podium finishers. It's Sem on the top step, flanked by the 2 Brits of Spaghetti Chips and Larkin. Yes, I don't think anyone could have expected that. And do let me know your questions for the top 3 for the post-race interviews. But the finishing order is going to be Sem 12 2004, who wins this evening, followed by Spaghetti Chips, Larkin, Marcus Short, QVR Campbell, Simply Superman, Niels Barser, LR Patrick, BR Morris, and Simsy Danger rounding off the grid. All the finishers. Only 10 finishers out of a total 13 starters. You can see the time penalties really did not help Simsy Danger there. FBA Will G, Just Call Me Bread, and Heidschweichel all did not finish. So let's invite Sem to the party. So definitely do let me know what questions you have for the top 3. I'm sure you've got many for the top 3, and I will be sure to ask them to the drivers once they join the party. If you just bear with me for 2 minutes while I invite them, and we can have a nice inside look into how the Grand Prix went for them. I've got a couple questions for Sem, namely, how did he get that fast? And then Spaghetti Chips and Larkin, they were in that train pretty much the duration of the race. And it was very dramatic from those drivers. So let me just invite Spaghetti Chips as well, and then I'll invite Larkin afterwards. Where is Larkin? Here he is. View profile. And we can invite him as soon as possible. And then we can get underway with the post-race interviews, because that was an absolutely insane Grand Prix. I'm surprised I managed to keep up with all of that action, but we have got the race winner in the party now. I think we'll start with you, Sam. How do you think that race went?
Oh yeah, I love this track. Yeah, I knew I had pace here, and qualifying was actually quite close with Will. But then, yeah, I don't know what exactly happened in turn 1. He was ghosting on my screen, and yeah, I don't know exactly, but yeah. The rest of the race, yeah, I pulled away quite a bit, and then the safety car came out, but I had a 3-second time penalty, so I was a bit worried. But then, yeah, I pulled away. So, and I spun on the last lap, got damage, but I survived.
Yeah, you still managed to come home with the win. What was your reaction when that safety car was brought out?
Well, not the best. Yeah, I really didn't want a safety car, but yeah, came. So.
Yeah, and we'll move on to Spaghetti Chips then. How did you feel about that race?
Well, it's my first podium of the season, so I can't be too downhearted about it. Obviously P2. I would have liked P1, but obviously I did get a penalty with like 4 laps to go, which kind of ruined any chance of that, and also being stuck behind Simsy, who was on 25 lap old tyres, so that was never going to work. So I had to just find my way past him. Yeah, obviously last lap, pushed past Merchant, obviously went past me, but I knew I had him on penalties, so that was good. And also, well, yeah, it was a good race in general. Everything went well. Lap 1 for me went well, obviously. Shame for my teammate, but yeah, out of it, really happy with the results that I got.
Yeah, I mean, how did you feel when you got that punt on the final lap?
It's expected. Honestly,
Really?
because he pushed past my QVR teammate QVR Campbell a few laps prior to that. I kind of knew it was coming, but yeah, I feel like he just needs to learn not to push past, because it's happened twice in 2 days in a row now. So he needs to learn like how other cars react, and it's not just getting past everyone. You actually need to think about where you're going to go overtake them. That's my view on it.
And we'll move on to you, Larkin. You were also in that train. How did you feel that race went?
I'll take a P3, to be honest. I definitely wasn't the third fastest person on track, and both the other 2 guys on the podium were definitely quicker than me. It was just nice to have Spag and M Short to drag me around the track for however many laps. The strategy was just, keep it as clean as possible, avoid getting pens. I was desperately trying to keep up to date with however many penalties everyone else got, and it worked out okay in the end.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations, guys, because I didn't get that spin on the last lap, Sam, but congratulations anyway, guys, because that was an absolutely insane Grand Prix. And everyone at home, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time in Abu Dhabi. Goodbye.